I touched on two things earlier in the interview, just chopping it up with you. But learning a new skill during this time was something I really took away from. Again, I was one of the pastors that said that on a Facebook Live. Learn a new skill, learn a new practice, learn a new routine during this time. We still got to live. So why don't you better yourself?
Welcome back to episode 5 of Corona season. I'm here with BRM, aka Brandon. What up, man? How you doing?
I'm good. How's it going? Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, man. Thank you for taking some time out of your day just to jump on with us. So on here, I got some questions for you, man. How was your Easter? First off, how was your Easter?
Man, it was great. We got a chance to chop it up a little bit before, but yeah, just got a chance to enjoy just being with my family, my wife and my kids. And, we did some of the Easter stuff. We do something called a Hershey hunt where we look for these little Hershey kisses around the house. The kids love that. And we had some nice weather, had some good food, so cannot complain.
Nice. Same out here, man. The weather was beautiful, so it was definitely an awesome day, even in the midst of everything that we got going on.
I know you got to take time out to enjoy what you can.
Oh yeah. So I'm here with Brandon. He's a man of God. He's a husband. He's a father of 2 kids. He's a rapper. He's also a label owner as of recently, and also a teacher. We're going to kind of get to know him a little more. So could you really tell us, just first off, starting off with man of God, just your story, like what's your testimony? And then, so it's a 2-part question. What's your testimony? And then 2, how has this season affected you in that area?
Sure, man. I can start with the testimony. 2005, I always tell the same story. I came to know God, believe in him. But at the time I didn't realize I believed in him, but I had trouble kind of with that, seeking that relationship with him. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really seek a relationship till about 2011.
Okay.
I came to know God in 2005. I believe a God exists, but I didn't surround myself with the right people and whatever. Really, nobody really. I was just trying to kind of walk alone.
Right.
But 2011, man, I was about kicked out of my house, doing some stupid stuff, and God met me right there. I tell the same story. I was in a RAV4 with my wife. We were having a heart-to-heart, and I felt God literally speaking to me through her. I was bawling my eyes out. I knew I wasn't living the way I was supposed to be. And since then, I haven't looked back. And I've been chasing God ever since, trying to build a relationship, trying to tell people about God. And that's it. I'm trying to run for him now. It took me a long time to get there, but hey, everybody's got their story, and I'm gonna just keep running. It's never too late. I always try to tell people that we all can do a bunch of stuff, but it's never too late. Just got to accept them today.
Nice. So if you don't mind sharing, you mentioned you had a heart-to-heart with your wife and you felt like God was speaking through her. What was she saying, if you don't mind sharing a little bit of that?
Yeah, I just remember actually telling me, and I believe it came out of her mouth, but I really believe it came through God. And one of the things that struck out to me was she was just telling me that this is a season of life. And you went through a season that you knew you weren't supposed to be in. And this is your chance now to make it right. And I really do believe that wasn't just words from her. I really believe it was words coming from God.
That's dope.
And I'll never forget it. People ask me that a lot, that question, it's always the same answer. It's that God was mentioning that season. We all go through those seasons. We all go through those whatevers, those hardships, and you got a decision to make. You're going to stay in it, or you're going to follow and chase after God and build that relationship. So I chose the latter.
That's good, man. That's good. Thanks for sharing that.
No, I appreciate it.
With that, so the second part of the question is just, so how has your faith been impacted by what we got going on in the current situation?
Yeah, you know what? I guess everybody's got their things about kind of maybe why this is going on, or everybody's kind of got, maybe God's trying to get us to slow down and spend time with our families, get back to the root of what we should be doing, and quit all the busyness. And I'd go along with that. We're trying to do, I'm trying just to implement some better practices in the home. Just kind of getting back to family dinners and let's talk about God. Let's not wait to bedtime when everybody's tired. So for me, it's like trying to build some new practices that, that are beneficial to myself and my family. So we got the time now. This is the time to do it.
Nice.
One of my older pastors who used to kind of preach at our church, Mike Alvarez, shout out. He had put out a little thing on Facebook, just kind of talking about what are we doing during this time as far as building a new skill. And he didn't just mean like a skill like, shooting hoops or something. Like, what's that new skill that we're building that is going to benefit somebody else in the long run, benefit you in the long run? For me, that's stuff that you're doing with your family. Maybe you wake up and you're getting in the word more. Maybe you learn a skill like this where you're doing interviews with people like you're doing, and you're building out and making relationships with people. What's the new skill that you're learning during this time? So I kind of took that to heart as well. So
that's good, man. That's good. So how long have you and your wife been married, and how did you guys meet?
15 years. And we met in junior high. So I had a crush on her in high school. Didn't really act on it till we got right out of high school. And then it's been, haven't looked back since. So we've known each other. I won't give an exact number, but we've known each other for a long time. Long time. It's been a blessing, man. She's one of the reasons I would say, actually, I know she is one of the reasons why I even have anything to do with God. I remember when I first started dating her, it was just me like trying to just be around her. So she was going to church with her family, and I was like, I guess I'll go to church just so I can hang out, so
right.
That would have never happened if I didn't met, I'm assuming, I'm almost guessing it probably wouldn't have never happened if I didn't meet her. So that was probably planned out.
Gotta use anything, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Looking back on stuff like that, you just kind of shake your head and laugh like, well, that was probably the plan.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. So, and then you guys have 2 kids. Would you mind sharing how old they are and what it's like having kids?
Yeah, man. Gavin is 10. He's the boy. Reagan's the girl. She's 8. They're in 4th to 3rd grade. And man, they're awesome. They got different characteristics, from me and my wife, Sarah. And it's just kind of funny to see it played out, as they get older and stuff like that. Maybe some good ones, maybe some bad ones that we're going to try to fix along the way, but they're great kids. Being a dad and father and husband and all that stuff, man, is something as a kid growing up, when you're in high school or something like that, you just never really, picture it, or how am I going to be at that and whatever, but it's all been a learning thing. I'm embracing it, and it's been great.
Nice. So how was during this time with your kids, have you guys had conversations about what's going on outside? I'm sure you have, but like, what are those conversations like?
Yeah, man. Yeah. We brought them up. Actually the whole start of 2020 was some interesting conversations. When the whole Kobe Bryant dying,
yeah,
that was for whatever reason, that was a big one for me. I'm sure a lot of people can attest to that.
Yeah, no,
If you
definitely.
grew up with that, I don't know, just being a baller and a hooper and all that, just kind of growing up, and you could tell you had kids and all that stuff. I think it just hit people. It just hit them in the heart,
Yeah.
So that, along with this whole quarantine thing, has brought up some different conversations that we normally wouldn't have. We sat, and I've just tried to kind of just tell them life's not guaranteed. Even more important, why we need to know God. So, I mean, we've had these conversations, and we continue to have them. But I think that's been the biggest thing from it, is that life's not guaranteed. Saw it with the Kobe thing, see it with the coronavirus thing. And if it's not guaranteed, you better know where you're going. So that's what I try to teach them.
Yeah. That's real, man.
Kind of simple, but at the same time, they don't get it unless we bring it up to them. So
There's beauty in simplicity, man. That's awesome.
yeah, I'm kind of a simple guy, so I need to try to keep it simple.
Me too, man. Me too.
Good, good.
So rapper. So how long you been rapping?
So basically been picked up a pen, started writing on a pad in junior high. I was sitting in my little bedroom, listening to Gangster's Paradise Coolio. That was the song that got me writing. Anytime I get asked that question, I always bring that up because it really was. I heard the song, and I don't know what it was. Like I was a junior high, and I was already listening like gangster rap and stuff like that, you know. So like, but there was something about that song. There was a message in it, you know. So that was interesting. And so I don't know why it took that song, but there was a message in it. And I just sat down. I just started writing lyrics over that. I've been doing it since junior high. You know, I tried to do just regular music growing up, you know, high school, just trying to make like songs you would listen to in the club.
Right.
But again, 2011 was my turning point. And so I've been Christian hip hop, you know, for 7-8 years now.
So with that, man, like how has, in this season, how has your pad and pen been affected? Like, have you been writing about what's going on, or have you been just?
Yeah. I did one track already. I called it This Little Light. And it was just one of those things that I sat down and started writing during this time. Because as Christian hip hop artists, or as Christians, or really people in general, we should be showing a light.
Right.
And so I know some people that I've spoke with have struggled a little bit during this time to kind of find that inspiration to write.
Right.
I've been a little, I guess, opposite of that. I get a lot of time to be at home. I'm home with the kids. I got time to write, and I guess I've kind of found some inspiration during this. So everybody's different, but I could see kind of falling in a little bit of that lack of inspiration right now, just because, you know, everybody's in different situations.
Right.
Mine's not so bleak right now, but you know, I know people lost their jobs and stuff like that, but so I get it. A lot of people are hurting right now, and I feel that, but I haven't had a lack of inspiration, you know. So
I hear that, man. I feel that too, definitely.
yeah.
So on that track that you just started,
Yeah.
did you just start writing? Like, how are you doing? Do you already have a beat, or are you just writing and then you're going to try to find a beat, or what's the process?
Yeah, so I just put that out about a week or two ago. I called it This Little Light. It was done. I did it super quick, shot a video in my basement. And my newest, so yeah, I'm writing another track. What's another track I got written? That noise track we just dropped. I wrote down. We got that done fairly quickly as well. I got another track I'm actually writing now. I call it Fan to Flame. And that one I just, you know, is going to be kind of a hype track. Most people who know my music know I stay along those lines, but the Fan to Flame is going to be pretty dope too, because just kind of talking about God's given us all that flame inside. Hopefully, you should have a flame, whether it's small or big. So just wanted the fan it to get it a little bit bigger, and hopefully let it spread too to people around me. So
nice.
I don't know. I like to write. I've always liked to write. Doesn't matter if I'm working, not working. So for me, again, me being home, this is to my advantage, the way I see it. So yeah.
Nice. And then also, so recently you just started up a label, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Can you tell us about that? When did it start and
all
that?
Yeah, that was dope, man. So about a year ago, I signed with a group called Rapture Ready Productions. I was their first out-of-state artist. They're based out of Louisiana, and they're awesome. Me and the CEO there, Jeremy Duncan, we kind of hit it off years ago, and then we just kind of followed each other. It was just kind of like me seeing something from you on Instagram, or you seeing something from me, and all it was just I reached out to him about 3 years ago. Not looking for a team or nothing. So I could care less about a team 3 years ago. And I was just reaching out thinking, man, that song was dope. I heard him on a review show, same one that I was on. I just literally reached out to him, man, nice song. We got to collab sometime. And from there, we just built a relationship from there. Every once in a while, he'd reach out or I would reach out. He'd help me with a graphic here and there or whatnot. I saw his video skills were way higher than mine. So I would reach out, hey, how'd you do that? You know, just kind of do a teamwork.
Nice.
So we signed about a year ago. I tell the same story. I prayed for a team about a year and 2 months ago, just because I was just kind of felt like just doing it by yourself isn't really what God's calling us to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like I'm making money being signed by her or nothing like that. Anybody who knows me knows I could care less. I got a 9-to-5. I got a career, but I wanted just to do this with somebody along the way. And literally, as I prayed, 2 weeks later, he hits me up out of the blue and says, "You want to join Rapture Ready Productions?" So I joined him. Year later, he says, "Hey, BRM, you're in the North. Why don't we start a little RRP North?" So that's the Rapture Ready Productions North. And I'm trying to kind of build a label in the area, more or less. Not to say I won't sign somebody out of state, I guess.
Yeah.
But we like the idea, and I like the idea of having people that are kind of local that you can kind of build with, do shows with, meet up and do videos with. That stuff's kind of harder to do out of state.
Right.
Again, not to say I won't somebody out of state, but we're going to try to start it like that and just kind of build. We got some in the South. We got some in the North. We'll see what happens from there. So looking forward to running it, looking forward to the different relationships that come from it, and we go from there.
So who are the artists on BRM North? RRP North.
Yeah, RRP North, man, is myself. We got TC Boyd, the artist, and Kingsman J. So those are the two. Kingsman J is somebody I've known for about 6 years, done music with him for quite some time. He was rocking with me from day one. Literally when I'm putting out tracks that probably sounded a little bit whatever. So he's my go-to guy. So he would be technically the vice president of the RP North. He's the guy that I'm going to run stuff past. He can run stuff through me. And we're going to kind of work that out. But he's an artist. And TC Boyd, he's been out for a long time, man. He's been kind of doing his thing. He does a little bit of everything. Spoken word, rap artist. He's an author. He does motivational speaking. That's literally what his job is. Like, he gets paid to go out. He shows up at schools to do motivational speaking. His testimony is unbelievable. So those are two guys I'm ready to rock with, and we're ready to kind of get going.
Nice. And who's the other guy on the latest feature, Jamar Spencer?
Yeah, he's just one of those guys that I reached out to. I actually saw him on a video, and I reached out to him, and I played his video on one of my BRM live shows that I did. Literally, that's how I started a connection with him. Next thing you know, we were chatting a little bit, and I got him to do a feature on my newest track, Noise, featuring all the RP North artists. And so right now, Jamar's just an associate, just somebody that we're working together with, but not technically a RP North artist. But
nice. And who produced the track?
Dream Big Beats. So he is Rapture Ready Productions producer. So when we say that, it doesn't mean all the beats come from him, but he is somebody that we wanted to sign that I actually knew and Kingsman J knew, and we wanted to get him kind of with the team because it's very important to have your own producer if you're going to be doing something like this as a label, I believe, so we don't end up with these lease beats and running into each other's, with the beats, So
Yeah.
I actually know there was somebody who I think we all know, and he had come out with a track, and actually I had the same beat. So we all, we're putting out beats, tracks with the same beats, because we all lease from the same people sometimes, So that's why I think it's super important to have your own producer as well.
Nice.
Smart.
So I was well, you just answered the question. I was gonna ask you. So, can you tell us a horror story about leasing beats? But you just answered it.
There it is. Yeah. Now, if I didn't know him, actually, you know him too. We could talk about it just because we kind of had a laugh about it. But it was just funny because I was like, man, I just put out a track like 2 weeks ago with that. And he just started dying. He's like, man, I've had this thing for like 3 years or something like that. I'm like, and that doesn't surprise me because that's what happens when you lease beats. So
right.
Whatever.
No, that's good, man. I think that's for any rapper out there. I think that's good, is just be aware of like what you're getting.
Yeah.
You're leasing a beat, somebody else could be using it.
somebody could be using it, especially when you're leasing it. But I
Yeah.
guess whatever.
That's awesome, man. Thanks for sharing that. And then also, so you said you're a teacher too. So who do you teach? What grade and
Yeah,
stuff?
PE teacher, K through 5. So I see the little ones and I see the fifth grade ones.
Nice.
So it's funny to just kind of see that whole dynamic. You see the whole school every day. So classroom teachers, man, shout out to the classroom teachers because they got that same group and they got them all year long. But it's also an interesting dynamic for us PE teachers, seeing the whole school, every single day. So it's got its challenges, but it's got its rewards too. So it's nice getting a chance to talk with some of these kids. Some of these kids come from we were talking about, backgrounds and circumstances, and it's
Right.
all, that's life.
Yep.
But it's nice getting a chance to talk with some of those kids. They can be a handful sometimes, but when you get a chance to talk to them, hopefully something stands out in them, something sinks in when you get a chance to talk to them. At least I pray that happens. So.
No, for sure. I mean, I've worked with youth for like my whole adult life.
Wow. Okay.
But I know like consistency, man. Like, I mean, just you showing up every day and being their PE teacher, you know what I mean? Like we don't
Yeah.
realize the impact we have.
Great point.
Yeah. So I've had kids that I know that were 6. Now they're like adults and they're like, I can call them, they're not like, we're not like super homies, but like I can call them a
Yeah.
friend.
Wow.
And talk to them and stuff. And they tell me like, oh, the impact you have. And I was just like, and I wasn't looking for that. I just, cause at the
Sure.
time you're just doing your job. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Just trying to talk to them, trying to give them something to follow.
trying to be positive. Yep.
Yep.
You're doing it, man. So keep doing it, bro.
Oh man. Amen. That's awesome, man.
It's beautiful. So with that, man, so like what did your guys' school decide on as far as, because I don't know if it's like across the board. I know my daughter's school, she just started kindergarten this year, and they actually they announced it last week or at the beginning of today's Monday. Last week, they announced last week where like, hey, we're done for the school year. Here's some school packets you got to take home type of thing. What are they doing with you guys?
Yeah, I know. Now I'm friends with Tom as well, so I see Tom post stuff. So I know you guys are in Idaho. I think you guys kind of got a little bit of a later start as far as the shutdowns and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, we're way behind, dude.
Yeah. So I think we had a couple of weeks on you guys. So I mean, our kids have been out of school since March 19th. I want to say, close. But the only word we've got is right now is that May. They say May 15th or something is the comeback date. I just don't see it happening. So I'm sure we're right behind. If you guys canceled, and I've heard other schools can't. California, there's some other ones. New York, I'm sure.
Atlanta did. I know that.
I'm sure everybody's going to be canceled for the year. Nobody's going to risk any kids back to school at this point of year, with it being so close to the end of the year. I just can't imagine. So doing homeschool work, just like you guys, same stuff. So it is what it is.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess going into this, I just kind of want to chop it up with you two for a little bit. So within CHH, what has been some of your, what's the word I'm looking for? Some of the hurdles or challenges that you've encountered?
Yeah, it's a good question. I feel like I've been asked that a few times, but as I get more into it, and then you try to, the longer you've been in it, and the different moves you get a chance to do with it and whatnot, I guess if you want to call them moves or whatever. But I know, like, when you first start off, I always kind of tell people the same thing, like, just don't try to do it alone. Like, make those relationships that we were even kind of talking about. You're trying to reach out and do the show, you're doing your interviews and stuff like that. Like, don't wait on making the relationships with people. I think a hurdle can be when you first start off, if you're just trying to do it alone, good luck to you. You better be uber talented or uber know somebody. I would say, I mean, again, if you are super talented, you could probably do it on your own for quite some time. But for those who are just kind of everybody else, make relationships with people. And then, I mean, everybody's not going to be your best friend, or maybe that person who's going to be in your circle of trust. But as you make those relationships, you get those people who end up being in your circle of trust and end up being those people who they speak into you and you speak into them. And that's what I found. I, I was talking with Mario Esco. He has another show, and he said something the other day about, did you reach out at first just to kind of, were you looking for the actual relationship like you're talking about, or were you looking for like a strategic thing? And both, when you reach out to people, you're looking to try to get your music out there. You're looking to trying to build, but
Right.
in the midst of that, that's where you end up building those actual relationships. You can't build a relationship with somebody if you don't actually reach out to them. So regardless of what your motive or whatever might be in the first place, you can't build a relationship with somebody unless you're actually reaching out. So one of the hurdles would be, don't do it by yourself. Build relationships. So that was one that I kind of came across. And besides that, I guess platforms for people to hear your music. I think I hear a lot of people talk about, oh man, I've been trying to send my music here and they don't accept it and stuff like that. And I feel their pain in that because I went through a long amount of time trying to send my music to certain people and being rejected and stuff like that.
Right.
So, I mean, I really feel the pain. I mean, I legitimately do. And legitimately, I didn't, when I started to realize that it just didn't really matter anymore. If you love to do music, just do music, is when things kind of shifted. And I was able to at least get different people to listen to the music and stuff like that. So
No,
I don't know if that was timing. I don't know if that was just different thoughts and whatever, or maybe people aren't ready at certain times or whatever. But I think it has something to do a little bit with your mindset and where your heart actually is with the music. The checking your why, as I like to say. Check why you're doing this. You like to do it, or you want people to check you out all the time and give you praise. So,
right. That's good, man. That's good.
yeah.
So,
Sorry, rambled on there.
No, that's good. That's what I wanted, man. That's what I wanted. So I was going to ask you too with that. So I totally lost it. Oh yeah. So going into that, just kind of what you're sharing, just talking about how you submitted, and also, do you feel like, okay, you got to a point where you said, I don't care anymore. I'm doing this because I love it. I enjoy it and love doing it.
Absolutely.
And you felt like it shifted. During that time, were you also still submitting music?
Yeah. No doubt. I definitely was. Because again, if you don't reach out to something, it's not going to happen. Mm-hmm. So really that is the way I think of it. But there was a time I do remember, not submitting. There were plenty of songs I put out kind of in that time. And I was like, why submit? It's just going to be rejected, from different places. But I'll tell you this. When I was in that spot, and again, I came to kind of that conclusion, like, man, I'm just going to do music because I love to do it, because I really do. I just love to do it. It doesn't matter who's listening to it. I feel like the music got better. I feel like I was just able to kind of find my process, find my sound in that, because you weren't so worried about people checking it out. And then when you felt like you put a better product out, I started to send again. And stuff was getting accepted and stuff like that. So, I'll also say this to regards to that. I think when you're not, I can't think of the right word. When you're not trying to go for that, like, oh man, I want people to really listen to this, you come up with better creative ideas. And when you come up with better creative ideas, like that's when I started my BRM live shows. I started to do different things, different song concepts, I started to look to do different things. And when you start to do different things, maybe certain things start to open up a little bit for you. Nice. So I would say that's a tip for people, maybe struggling. Try to open up your bag of tricks a little bit, and maybe kind of see what happens out of that. Yeah.
That's good, man. Thank you for that. That's a gem right there.
Thanks.
So what's the, I guess going forward now, like what is your strategy? Like, are you submitting to playlists and stuff? Are you, what's your process? So, okay, let's say BRM, he's got you just finished a track. You got it mastered. It's ready to go. What's the next step? What do you do next?
Yeah, great question. And I like to share this a lot with some of the people who maybe don't have a real refined process, I guess. But yeah, I submit the playlist. I got a list of emails of people who have played my tracks over the years. And as it's, different people have reached out, I kept the emails. I'm pretty organized when it comes to this stuff. I got folders with pictures, with music. I got emails. I got, all that stuff, how to submit to this person, how to submit to that. And you build over time. And now I got a nice list of people who I can send out to that will most likely or sometimes play the music. So, it's about building. And then again, when you send something out, make that artwork, try to get it clean. And send out a little press release, make sure you're telling people why that song is important. I love it when I get something in my inboxes and it says, check this out. Unless I know you, I'm probably not going to check this out. And I mean,
it's real. That's real.
And I'm sure that's everybody. I'm sure that's a lot of other people as well. Somebody told me, what makes your song important? And you better tell people what makes your song important. Otherwise, they're not going to think it's important. So I think that's when you're sending out, send something professional. Just don't say, check this out and you want this person to check it out. Because it's not going to happen. So I'm sending stuff out. There's a process. It can take a little while. There's a lot of emails involved, a lot of filling out different things, but make yourself a template, make yourself a list, and make sure you hit that out every time you got a new single. So that's what I do.
Nice. That's good.
Thanks.
So right now, how has this impacted music, like for you?
The quarantine?
Yeah. Being quarantined.
Yeah. I think I touched on it a little bit. I mean, for me, it feels, there's nothing different for me. Again, for people who, I feel for the people who are like those artists who are out there, like this is their job. What I mean? Like they're out doing shows. They depend on this stuff, to hit up that ministry group or that youth group. I get a chance to do that, but it's not my job. So for me, like, again, I don't have that lack of inspiration because I'm not able to do that. This is what I do anyways. If I get home from work, the kids and I, we have a snack. If we don't go outside and play for a little bit, I'm in the studio writing. And so now I just have a lot of time to do that. So for me, nothing's changed. I just have more time to do music. I got more time to read. I got more time to get into Word and stuff like that and play with my kids and that kind of stuff. But there's no stress of going to work.
Right.
So I don't know, for me, this kind of frees me up even more. But again, for those people who do this as a job and they're trying to make money and stuff like that, I really do feel for them, and I do hope they can get back to that kind of stuff again. So yeah. But for me, I'm enjoying it.
Nice. So with you, what's the focus right now as far as music goes? Are you doing singles? Are you trying to do an album? Are you just focusing on RRP North, or what's going on?
I'm gonna try to do it all. I really am. I love to put out singles. I love to put out stuff like that for me because, again, number one, it's fun. And then, which I tell every single person I ever talk to, I do this first because it's fun, and then the ministry rolls out of it secondly. And I'm just being honest and truthful, and that's how it goes. But for me, RRP North, definitely trying to get them out. They're going to have some singles coming out real soon. TC Boy's going to have a single, Kingsman J, and I'm going to follow right behind them. And then we're going to get into some EPs, I hope. I'd like to put one out late this summer. Hopefully they'll have one as well. I know they got tons of music they're sitting on. Now it's just about kind of refining it and getting it fine-tuned, getting it perfect, so we could put that out. I want people to hear what they have to say. I want them to hear their story. Nice. And I'm really having a fun time. It's always been kind of me, just worrying about what I'm doing. And I just talked to Jeremy, who's the CEO of Rapture Ready Productions, who has like 8-9 members, in the group. So he's always, so I get some tips from him, pray for me, man. You know, it's like how you do this with eight artists under your label, you know, and stuff like that. Like people hitting you up with stuff, and other people outside of the group trying to hit you up, wanting to know what you're doing, you know, what it's about and that kind of stuff. And so I'm like, pray for me, man, because that's only usually kind of been me. But I've embraced it. I'm enjoying it. And I look forward to everybody kind of hearing what's coming up.
So with that, man, what's a typical day look like for you? You wake up, you get the kids situated, you get in the studio, or what do you do? Like, what's your typical day? Break it down.
Yeah, that's pretty close. I get up, get the kids kind of situated. The good part is they're not your kids' ages. They're a little bit older, so they know what to do. They know what's expected. During the school week, man, they're doing their work, you know, so I kind of help them out with that when they need help. Otherwise, get a little reading time in the studio, doing stuff like this. Like I said, man, I'm enjoying it. I wish my wife was home, though. You know, she is still out working and doing that stuff. That's the one thing I just wish she could be home and not out there dealing with this mess.
Yeah.
But besides that, I'm enjoying it.
So I completely forgot to ask you earlier. So where exactly are you located?
Okay, so I'm in the northwest suburb in Illinois. So I'm right outside of Chicago, about 35 minutes out. Yeah, man, been here my whole life. Been pretty much in the same area-ish my whole life. And yeah, man, I like the area. Some dope artists in Chicago. But you know what? There's some dope artists in the suburbs too. I've got a chance to meet a lot of them. And like to do more work together. We've started some concert series and stuff like that we kind of kicked off New Year's Eve and the summer right before it. And we're looking to do more of that stuff, get more of the youth out there, Christian, non-Christian, whoever, come on out, hear some good music, and you're going to hear the word too. So
Nice.
Looking to build more.
Nice. That's legit. I think that's key, man. Do you feel like you kind of touched on it earlier, but like how important is relationships within music?
Yeah, it's huge. Again, I think if you're doing it by yourself, you're going to get burnt out and you're going to get defeated at some points. Again, unless you're uber talented or got that uber connect, I think you're going to get burnt out. But building those connections is going to help you keep going. I really do believe it. You're going to have people speak into your life. And then from there, see what kind of doors open up musically. But then even not musically, if you're surrounding yourself with the right people, you get spoken into. And when you get spoken into, that's from God usually, in the cases I found. So that's the stuff that's going to keep your cup full. But it's super important. Super
Nice.
important, I think.
So you also mentioned BRM Live. Tell us what BRM Live is.
Yeah, man. BRM Live is a show that I do. I was trying to do every week, but it usually ends up every week and a half-ish. And it's a show that I usually play 5 videos of anybody in Christian hip-hop. Might be somebody I know, might be someone I have no idea who they are. I'm lucky enough to have enough people on my timeline, actually a lot of artists on my timeline who are posting their videos, or radio MCs who are posting other people's videos. And I just grab the videos and I support them. I play them. I never give critique on it. I think that might be for other people to give. That's not my specialty. I'm just here to encourage and to support. It might be a video I've watched or haven't watched, but I play it. I give what I liked. I literally call it a what I liked segment. And I just give you what I liked. If it's something critical, that's for somebody else to give you. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm just here to tell you what I enjoyed about it. I usually have guests on the show. When we were unquarantined, I'd have people stop by. We would do it together.
Nice.
But I'm going to start doing some stuff like this, where I could kind of reach out to you, ask you about your music, and then kind of play maybe a 7-10 minute segment about that. So I'm looking forward to doing that.
That's cool, man. So with that, what brought BRM Live? How did that idea come about?
Great question. So when I first started it out, I was just dropping my my album God's Goon. And I thought, hey, every weekly I would come on and I would tell you a little something about the album or what I'm working on or something like that. And instantly, as I did after my first show, I felt, no, people don't want to hear about you every single week coming on here. It ain't about you. come on the show, and why don't you highlight other people? And I legitimately felt that as clear as day in my head and my heart. Come on here and talk about other people. Of course, you're going to get something. I'm going to give you some news when I'm on there, but do not make it about yourself. Go on there, support everybody else that's coming out there, and it'll be a great time. And I've literally enjoyed it. I'm on week 24. I've done 24 weeks of it now. I would have had no ideas that I would have even got past 5. So, yeah, it's been dope.
That's nice, man. Can I ask you, has there been some highlights? I was gonna say favorites, but has there been some highlights that really just stuck out to you that you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I've never been asked that one before. I like that. Yeah. I did have a couple highlights in the show. They've usually come. I've had my son on it one time where he was breaking down what he liked about the videos.
Oh, nice.
My son is Mr. Parakeet. For those who don't know, he's a 10-year-old rapper. He's been putting some music out. I've been trying to help him as well, and he blew me away with his insight of what he took away from the songs. Stuff I would have never thought he would have taken away from it. He was talking about video and video angles and the way the beat dropped when this came in, and I was like, what? Like, so like, it was really pretty neat. Like, I don't know. I was blown away by it. I really enjoyed it. And then another one I had was when I had a pastor come on to break down and review the Christian hip hop videos. Again, he wasn't going to give anything negative, but it was really cool to have a pastor sitting right next to me, reviewing the video and taking what he heard from it. Because sometimes I've even put out songs where maybe it might be somebody where exactly is he going? But to have a pastor right next to me to give exactly what he heard from 5 other people's videos was really cool and kind of refreshing for me. And I'll probably do that. I don't want to do it every week, but I will probably do that more. I think it's beneficial for the artists and fans listening to it. Anybody who's a fan of Christian hip hop, and for myself, it really kind of made me think a little bit more.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Who was the pastor? Is it like somebody you know, or is it just some?
Yeah. So my church has a couple of pastors. They kind of rotate. And I had one pastor on who used to be at this church that I go to, the Edge Church. So I had him on, and then I had a second pastor on. More about, usually when I have people on, I like to ask them about their ministry or what it is they're doing. But the second pastor I had on was just there to hang out. But so I've actually had 2 pastors actually give me what they thought about the videos. So yes, both pastors I knew in different regards. So it was super dope. I'm gonna keep reaching out to others because I just think it was really beneficial for the artists. And I take a ton away just to hear what they have to say when they listen to the songs, being an artist.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We're going to we're going to start wrapping this up because I know you got to get off here soon. So with that, yeah, man, no problem. I was waiting. We froze up a little bit.
Yep, good.
Okay. My mind saying your internet connection is unstable, but no, then it went away. So I'll edit that out. Anyway, so we're just kind of wrapping up here. Thank you again for your time. Is there anything that you would like to share with us? Just kind of like your last, and then I'll have you plug some stuff after this, but just kind of share with us inspiration, something inspiring that you're either thought about, maybe something you read or something, something that would encourage the people. Cause like in the middle of this that we got going on right now, we still have to live. Yeah. We can't, I realize some people's lives, it feels like they're on hold.
Sure.
And part of it is that's true to a sense, but we still have to live.
Yeah.
How would you encourage somebody during this time?
You're right. We got to live. We could get up every day and kind of drag around, or you could get up and try to do something. I touched on 2 things earlier in the interview, just chopping it up with you, but learning a new skill during this time was something I really took away from. Again, that was one of the pastors that said that on a Facebook Live. Learn a new skill, learn a new practice, learn a new routine during this time. We still got to live. So why don't you better yourself and better those around you? So I would say learn a new skill, And the second one is the check your why. You're going to have more time than ever right now to just sit down. If you're a Christian, praying, and just kind of maybe digging into yourself, deeper sense of yourself right now, whether you lost a job or this is a good time to just kind of check your why, check why it is you're doing things, check your purpose. Hopefully your purpose is again, to please God, and to walk with Him and to shine a light on Him. But even if you're not a Christian, check your purpose. Your purpose should be that. But this is a good time to kind of dig deep inside yourself right now, because we have the time. So don't come out the same way. Don't come out the same way as we did coming into this, is what I would say.
That's good, man. Thank you for sharing that.
No, appreciate it.
So what do you want to plug, man? Tell us what's going on, or tell us where to find you. Where can we find your music? All that.
Yeah. Dope. BRM, AKA Brandon. You could type that in anywhere, Google, Spotify, YouTube. You'll find all my videos, all my music. And then RaptureReadyProductions.com. We were talking a little bit about you trying to get some info on the RP North. We got blogs on there. We got podcasts. We got music. You can learn about all the artists. Go on that website. I swear you won't come out disappointed. You'll find something cool on there. And yeah, looking forward to building this brand a little bit. Again, I barely make any money. I make a little change here and there. I do this for fun. I do this to reach out to people, to build relationships, and to hopefully point you to God. So hopefully you get that from me and my team, and the Rapture Ready production label as a whole. And we're just going to keep working. We want to build stuff that everybody could kind of come along with. That's why we got the podcasts and the blogs, and we got a Rapture Ready radio, and we got all kinds of stuff that we are trying to roll out to help support artists as well. So services and sharing your music and stuff like that that's coming up. So stay tuned. You won't be disappointed. Look out for that.
Nice. Well, thank you so much again, Brandon. BRM in the house. We appreciate it so much. BRM, AKA Brandon. Check him out everywhere, right? Spotify, Pandora, whatever. YouTube.
You'll find it.
You'll find it. Just go search it.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you again for your time.
Thank you.
We are out. Corona season episode 5. See you guys.
Peace.
Yeah.